Brian Harman, the champion golfer of 2023. What an Open Championship that was. His performance was literally unflappable, incredible, amazing, fair play. You know what? He also made it one of the most boring Opens as well, because he was just unreal from start to finish. So massive shout out to him. I'm sure he's watching. Also his coach Justin Parsons, who's at Sea Island in the US. I know Justin from when he was in Dubai. Fantastic coach. Saw him recently at the Live event as well. He's also the coach to Louis Oosthuizen and Brandon Grace and a few others as well. So massive well done and shout out to him. This drill in today's video is something that Brian uses on all of his warm-ups and a lot of his practice sessions as well. And it's every golfer from beginner level to Open champion can do this drill and get better. So stay tuned, it's class. And just so easy as well, just so simple. How many of you watching this video right now fiddle around with the club face, fiddle around with your alignment, and you can never really get settled over the golf ball because you don't fully believe and trust where the ball is going to go? This very simple setup is going to help you calibrate every single time how to set up to the golf ball, how your club should be, and get everything aligned to target as best you possibly can. The setup to this drill is very simple. You need 2 alignment sticks or even just 2 golf clubs, and you're going to create a tee. Now the line that's on the floor, the stick that's on the floor there, is going to be going pretty much down my target line, and the stick that's creating the base is going to be helping you with ball position. So whether you've got driver, long iron, mid iron, short iron, you can use that stick to kind of make sure that the golf ball is in the correct position when you're taking your setup. This tee setup is also fantastic for the alignment of the club face. I can put the club in behind the golf ball. I can use this stick here that I'm using for my ball position to also try and get the leading edge as parallel and neutral to it as possible, but I can also use the stick that's going down the target line to try and get that to a 90-degree angle of it. So when I take my setup, this here is a 5-iron, so when I take my setup, I can see that the alignment stick is just edging towards my front foot, and when I put the club in behind the ball, I'm going to be trying to feel and try and look that the club head is as parallel to the stick from my ball position stick as possible. So when I take my setup, everything here is nice and neutral. But what I'm also going to do is when I'm looking down at the golf ball, I'm going to be looking at where my hands are relative to that alignment stick that I'm using for ball position as well, because I see a lot of golfers, they go for too much shaft lean at setup because they're trying to almost cheat as they come into impact. So we've got a lot of golfers trying to put the hands too far forward because they know at impact that's where your hands would like to be. They don't need to be too far, but when you take setup here, I wouldn't be getting my hands behind the line, I'd be getting my hands on top of the line. So when I look down and close one eye, my hands are covering the stick. I don't want them behind the stick. I don't want them level with the club head. So there will be a slight bit of shaft lean, so it massively helps with that. And it really just helps calibrate your whole setup. Obviously the most important thing of this is making sure that the club face is neutral as possible to target. How many golfers here will manipulate the face based on some of the bad shots that you're hitting? If you've got a slice, how many of you will turn the face so it's pointing away from what the slice bad shot would be? So if I've got a slice that goes to the right, I do often see a lot of golfers maybe turn the face in a little bit and push the hands further forward. So everything that you're doing there is trying to hood the ball to the left for a right-handed golfer, as opposed to allowing that strike to the right-hand side. So what you suddenly find now is you're creating lots of quick fixes. Quick fixes lead to long-term manipulation. Long-term manipulation in the golf swing is a horror show, trust me, because we do see this a lot. And as from golf coaching, I see this so often. The majority of your swing faults actually come from your setup. You set up in a bad place, you have to swing the golf club on the wrong or way off the wrong angles to create a decent ball flight. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I actually filmed a Sunday Scramble video today with a 28 handicapper who's got an ultra strong grip. That grip then hooded the club face, closed the club face on the takeaway, and got him super flat on the way back. And he hit these big hooks. To stop the big hooks, he then hit this massive push that was 50 yards right of target. And really, it just came down from a poor grip. So if you can get yourself into a position where every time you're going through this kind of more regimented setup position where you've got, right, that's going to the target. I'm going to sit my club there as I take my grip so the face is nice and square. Put it right directly behind the golf ball. I've got a 5-iron, so I'm going to put the ball position just forward of centre. I've got my feet equal distance to the stick that's pointing down the target line, and I've got my face angle nice and square. I've got my hands in the right position relative to the alignment stick on the floor and the golf ball, and now I'm in a position that it's perfect. It's a great position. If you can get the setup right, there's a chance we can start improving a lot of the actual golf swing itself. So what Brian Harman does, he kind of sets into this every single time, really calibrates the setup and gets it absolutely perfect. Then you can go ahead and just, oh, that was unbelievable, and just hit absolute arrows. That is pretty awesome. And then what he also does, if I do say so myself, then what he would also do is hit 5 or 6 shots like that, and then he would take the alignment sticks away. So then look how fast it is just to get rid of them, take the alignment sticks away, set up the club again. So it's set the club up first, take the grip, so you've got the face nice and neutral to target, take the grip, take the feet, and you're already now starting to move into a similar position as you were when you had those nice kind of set up alignment sticks, and you hit the same shot. Just like that. Oh my God, it's an absolute frozen rope today. But then after maybe 5 balls without, to recalibrate, grab the sticks again, go through. It takes 2 minutes. No, it doesn't even take 2 minutes. It takes 10 seconds. That is pretty good to there. I'm going to get this as 90 degrees on there as possible. I'm going to set the next golf ball up in front of there. Beautiful. How fast was that setup? Really simple, really easy, but extremely effective. Every time you go to the driving range, just set that up like that. And that's something I actually need to practice what I preach, because it's an amazing way of just calibrating setup. There'll be parts of this setup now, by the way, if you're doing this for the first time, there'll be parts of this setup which feel completely wrong, but you've set this up and you've checked it and you've aligned it, and you know that this is perfect. So if you set your golf club behind perfect to these lines, or as best you possibly can, and it still feels wrong, then the question is, how wrong was it in the first place? Because that really was wrong. This is correct because you've kind of checked the alignment and made sure it's absolutely perfect. So if it feels wrong, it's because it's right, and beforehand, that's when it was wrong. And now you can really start to recalibrate and actually start to see what your golf ball does now from a perfect setup position. Because if you start seeing the ball going off to the left or off to the right or vice versa, different to what you normally did, you then have to imagine, wow, how much were you manipulating it in the first place? Start from the best perfect setup position you possibly can, in terms of, but we've got ball position, we've got alignment, we've got relationship between club and body, a shaft lean, grip position we can still look at as well. And we can set ourselves and go, you know what, if I'm swinging in this, if I'm set up in the perfect position now, and this ball really takes off on a tangent and goes left or right, there's something else that went wrong. You can't blame setup. Because as I said before earlier in the video, the majority of swing faults that I see, we always kind of start with the root cause. And the root cause, I would say 8 out of 10 times from my lessons on the Skillers coaching app, generally starts at setup. We have to change the grip. We have to look at alignment. We have to look at feet position. We have to really try and make sure that the root cause has not come from the setup. The routine of just popping the club in behind the goal, getting the ball directly in line with the alignment, the ball position stick there, eventually. Clubbing behind the golf ball, grip, feet. I have my feet, as you can see, not dead straight, but slightly flared out. So I'm using the big toes to make sure that they're an equal distance away from this alignment stick. I've got my ball position ever so slightly forward because I'm hitting a 5-iron. Got my setup, I've got my posture, I've got my club, I've not got my club behind this alignment stick in the middle, but I've not got it too far forward in front of my lead foot. I've got it just on top of the alignment sticks, which tells me it's a minimal tiny amount of shaft lean towards the target, which is exactly what I want to see. I'm also even able to cheat a little bit and use that. This is like a bit of a takeaway drill. Try and make sure that the club just starts to rotate over the edge of the stick. So make sure just to rotate away. I'm not trying to take it on a straight line. I'm rotating it on a very small arc. And that's where we start to maybe adapt this a little bit further in the future. But the most important thing with this is making sure that your alignment is absolutely perfect. You get the easy stuff done. This is the easy, because you're not moving. There's no speed attached to it. There's no thinking really in terms of actually the golf swing. You're literally, it's a static movement. Get comfy with it. Have a couple of waggles like Big Bri did, or very little Bri we should say. But like, he had lots of waggles and he got pulled up on all that. But let's be fair, it's a bit of a comfort thing as well, particularly under that pressure. So anyone that has any sort of negativity towards the chap, pure jealousy, because honestly, he was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So clubbing behind the ball, lined up with that stick that's pointing to the target, ball position, feet equidistant away from this stick, ball position with this stick, hand position with the middle stick as well. Perfect setup. If I have a decent golf swing, it will go straight. I've got a decent golf swing. It went pretty straight. Has 3 shots in a row, by the way. Absolute Puresville. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the Open Championship. Comment below. It was amazing to watch. The man was unflappable. He was incredible. Brian Harman, I salute you. Fair play. That was amazing. However, your awesomeness made it bloody boring to watch, but who cares? The Open Championship is still the greatest event of the year. Well, maybe bar the Ryder Cup, but we'll see how that goes. See which European side actually turns up. Guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Loads and loads and loads of content coming to the channel. Hope you're enjoying it. It's been amazing. We've had a fantastic couple of months on the channel. Let's keep it growing. Get behind it. Please hit the subscribe, and I'll see you next time.